Other ship owners and operators, cargo owners and shippers, seafarers and crew members, port authorities, regulatory body, environmental organizations, and local communities are all stakeholders in the maritime sectors. And collaboration amongst these stakeholders is crucial for maritime sector to thrive. You're welcome to another episode of your program, Nimasa This Week, and I remain your anchor, Moyolua Olutayo. Welcome on board.
This is Nimasa This Week. You are watching Nimasa This Week.
You are watching Nimasa This Week.
You are watching Nimasa This Week.
The voice of maritime in Nigeria.
Keep watching.
Keep watching.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
We are number one.
Nimasa This Week, the voice of maritime, showing on these stations.
If you are just tuning in, thanks for joining us on another voyage today as we begin from the Federal Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy. The Honorable Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, His Excellency Adegboyega Oyetola, CON, hosted the Nigerian Guild of Editors for an interactive session in Lagos, where he emphasized the significant progress made by the ministry and its agencies in the last year. The interactive session also witnessed a question and answer session between the minister and members of the Nigerian Guild of Editors, where Oyetola stated that the media roundtable was about more than just displaying the ministry's successes. It was also about promoting dialogue. Stay tuned.
The Honorable Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, His Excellency Adegboyega Oyetola, CON, this week met with members of the Nigerian Guild of Editors in Lagos. He was accompanied by the ministry's permanent secretary and heads of agencies under the ministry. The tone for the meeting was set by Femi the permanent secretary, who noted that the session was to engage the editors on how best Nigeria's progress in the blue economy industry can best be communicated.
The marine and blue economy sector, though not new, is an emerging frontier of immense strategic importance to our dear nation. It presents opportunities for economic growth, job creation, environmental sustainability, all of which aligns with the renewed hope agenda of His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR. Today's gathering is not just a meeting of minds. It is a reaffirmation of the crucial role the media plays in shaping public discourse, enhancing transparency, and ensuring that government policies and programs are clearly understood by the citizenry.
The President, Nigerian Guild of Editors, Mr. Eze Anaba, acknowledged the progress the ministry has made under the leadership of Oyetola.
Going by the antecedent and pedigree of the Honorable Minister in the private sector, which he concurred, as governor, the work he did in Osun State, I have no doubt that the marine and blue economy will enjoy robust leadership and progress.
The editors listened with rapt attention when the Honorable Minister took time to reel out the achievements of the ministry within the past 20 months.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me now enumerate on some of our achievements. Port infrastructure and connectivity. As you may be aware, the federal government last week approved the award of contract for the modernization of the western ports, that's Lagos Port Complex, Apapa, and Tinkan, with a completion period of 48 months. The modernization of seaports remains a top priority of this administration. Dry port development in Abia, Plateau, and Borno State at various stages of development to further strengthen the nation's trade infrastructure. Additional dry ports in Oyo, Ogun, and other states are planned.
The minister also spoke about the progress Nimasa has made under the leadership of the Director General, Dr. Dayo Moberiola.
In concert with Nimasa, the ministry has engaged stakeholders to finalize arrangements for the disbursement of the Cabotage Vessel Financing Fund, CVFF. This will assist indigenous shipping operators to acquire new vessels and enhance indigenous capacity. The ministry is seeing to it that the correct template is put in place to ensure transparency and accountability in the disbursement of the fund. Efforts are on to bring in development banks into disbursement process. I'm glad to inform you that Nimasa, who is here, is working on this and has almost completed the process.
Ease of doing business and efficiency. How do you want to ensure that your ministry does things to actually improve efficiency within the area?
Talking about the ease of doing business, like I mentioned, during the last exercise, our ministry with our agencies were just to be the most exceptional in terms of performance, and we are trying to keep to that. What we have done to reduce the number of agencies operating from 13 to 7 is more of recommendation to the VP, which we have sent to him for the review of the committee that is working on the ease of doing business. Most of these agencies have the acts that give them the reason for the existence in the port. So you don't just take them out without recourse to those acts.
Welcome back. Moving forward, one of the principal functions of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, Nimasa, is to ensure maritime security. To this effect, the agency, in coordination with the security organizations, have maintained zero piracy on Nigerian waters in the last 2 years. This feat is indeed applaudable and worthy of celebration. Together, we applaud the agency for this great feat. Still on the program, the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, Nimasa, held its Management Performance Review 2024 in Lagos from February 12 to February 14, 2025. The MPR session had in attendance the Director General of Nimasa, Dr. Dayo Moberiola, and other management executives, heads of department, zonal coordinators, and key support staff. One of the key action points from the MPR 2024 was the need for Nimasa to establish conditions of entry for vessels into Nigerian territorial waters. Stay tuned.
As part of efforts towards appraising and analyzing the activities of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, Nimasa, towards the fulfillment of its mandate, the agency has held its Management Performance Review session for the year 2024 in Lagos. Declaring the session open, the Director General of Nimasa, Dr. Dayo Moberiola, stated that the Management Performance Review session is an important platform to critically assess the agency's performance in the year 2024. This, he said, will set the course for a more impactful 2025 and beyond.
This is an important platform where we will critically assess our performance over the past year, looking at our achievements, challenges, and lessons learned to enable us to set the course for even a more impactful 2025 and beyond.
At the session, directors, heads of departments, heads of units, and zonal heads took turns to make presentations on their achievements in line with the key performance indicators (KPIs) for the year 2024. On his part, the guest speaker, Elder Joseph Olaoye Jayola, during his lectures, started by examining the various developments in the globe, ranging from policies that will determine the future of nations, including Nigeria. His analysis connotes that the decisions of any leader will certainly have positive impact on the fortunes of the economy, citing the removal of the fuel subsidy by the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR, as a right step towards positioning the economy. Jayola charged Nimasa management to continue to entrench global best practices in the delivery of its mandate, while also ensuring an all-inclusive administration of the agency in order to fully realize its mandate.
Seen that there was 24.8 trillion on subsidy, and it's still on board, so now no subsidy. And we're beginning to see the dynamics of oil pricing going on. So we're going to see that. But for me, the beauty of that is that we're making ourselves to not only be producers of raw materials and exporting raw material, we are adding value. There's bank recapitalization. The intention is that they want our banks to be strong enough so that we can propel a $1 trillion economy.
To effectively manage the marine environment in Nigeria, in line with international conventions and acceptable global best practices, Nimasa established a fully functional laboratory where chemical, biological, and microbial testing can be conducted. The Nimasa laboratory, located at the Nigerian Maritime Resource Development Center in Kirikiri, is the latest addition to Nimasa facilities to ensure all gaps identified during the IMO IMSAS audit are closed.
The Marine Pollution Laboratory of Nimasa was established based on the Merchant Shipping Marine Environment Management Regulation 2012. This gave the framework for the establishment of the laboratory.
Atomic absorption spectrophotometer, which is used for analysis of heavy metals. Heavy metals, as we all know, they are a priority for polluters because of their high toxicity, tendency to bioaccumulate. In addition to that, the agency also procured a water quality monitoring equipment here, which can be used to assess and monitor the environmental quality of the marine environment.
Nimasa management has established a hybrid library to aid research in the maritime sector. The library is physically located in Lagos, Nigeria, but the facility is available online and can easily be accessed. A visit to the Nimasa e-library in Apapa was an eye-opener.
The Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency operates a hybrid type of library having the conventional library and the electronic type of library services, resources, and facilities available for information dissemination, learning, and knowledge creation of the maritime industry. The library is a hybrid type of library and it runs 24/7. It's accessible through any device, on your cell phone, on your iPad, on your laptop, desktop, on any electronic device. Is accessible with internet connectivity. The membership of the library is open to students, staff, maritime stakeholders, anywhere they are, is it in Nigeria or abroad, all maritime stakeholders, researchers and academicians, and the general public.
Okay, I got to find out about the e-library when I got employed into Nimasa, during our pre-induction orientation exercise. So since then, I've been visiting the library time to time for updates.
I'll advise people to come here frequently and use the library because the services are really good. The internet is quick and there's enough desktops for you to go online, do your research, and quick access to the e-library, and the conventional libraries downstairs as well. So you can just shuffle between that upstairs, and it's a very serene, nice, quiet environment. So I encourage people to sign up and come to the Library Resource Center and check it out. And
it's available online on www.nimasa.gov.ng, or you go to www.nimasaelibraryonline.org. All you need to go do is, when you go to the Nimasa website, click on the website and you go to online services.
You're welcome to the UNSDG segment. The United Nations Sustainable Development Goals is an offshoot of the Millennium Development Goals, and it has 5 broad components: people, planet, prosperity, peace, and partnership. On today's edition, we shall be focusing on the 4th goal of the Sustainable Development Goals, and that is education. Mr. Kayode Peters, an assistant director with the Maritime Labor Services Department of Nimasa, will share his thought with us on the role of the maritime sector in Nigeria towards achieving this goal.
Hello viewers, welcome to another edition of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals and the impacts in the maritime industry. If you have been following us, we started from SDG 1, talking about no poverty. We've talked about zero hunger. Last edition, we talked about good health and well-being. This edition, we'll be talking about quality education and how the maritime industry has impacted in quality education in Nigeria. Stay with me. My guest in this segment is Mr. Kayode Peters. He is an assistant director in the Maritime Labor Services Department of Nimasa. Mr. Kayode, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kayode Peters, for coming on this segment of the program on United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. As you may know, there has been lots of discussions globally, on sustainability, which has actually formed a center stage, on the global scale. And this SDG has been here for about 10 years now. In your own view, can you tell us how has the SDG fared in the last 10 years?
When you talk about the sustainability or the Sustainable Development Goal, which was also known as a global goal, these were adopted in 2015 by the United Nations. And the essence is to ensure that there's a reduction or there's end to poverty, and that to protect our planet, and inequality to adjust or to regulate whatever that is not that the world is not really enjoying. You understand me? That is the bottom line of the that is their target, to ensure that these things are well done in such a way that the humanity will be better for it, and that to bring peace and prosperity to the world in general.
Yeah. All right, thank you very much for that response, for that answer. Now, talking about the SDG, we're on SDG 4 now in this segment, and SDG 4 focuses on quality education. And there's this school of thoughts that quality education helps reduce poverty. What do you have to say about that? And what has been the Nimasa's contribution towards quality education in Nigeria, specifically in the maritime sector of Nigeria?
That is wonderful questions, and I will tell you that the Sustainable Development Goal 4 is just to ensure inclusive and equitable education for every human race, and that for people to have quality education, to have accessible education also, not just because you can have a quality education but it's not accessible to everybody. So the UN is a deliberate attempt to ensure that people have access to quality education. And the second question you asked in one is that what Nimasa is doing. Yes. Nimasa has done a lot. A lot. I will narrow it down to NSDP, that's the Nigerian Seafarers Development Program. I can boldly to tell you that we've trained over 2,476 young Nigerians.
That's huge.
Yeah, and we've also ensured that they attend the best university in the world.
All right, still talking about education. Recently, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu signed, the act establishing the Nigerian Maritime University of Kirikiri in Delta State. What does this portend for the Nigerian maritime industry?
That is a very laudable achievement, and it's something that is laudable. It's something that will really make Nigeria. We bring Nigeria into the world map when it comes to the issue of maritime education, and it will also help us, to cut down the capital flight, the one that we spend in training our seafarers abroad, and coupled with the ones that we already have, the existing one like Maritime Academy of Nigeria. Or also when we put them together, it will really help the industry to grow and to grow fast.
Thank you to our listeners out there for listening to us and stay with us on this segment of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, talking about quality education and what Nimasa has been doing to ensure quality education in Nigeria, specifically in the maritime sector of Nigeria. It's a wrap on this segment. My name is Femi Kumuyi. I remain your host. Thank you.
Introducing the new face of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, Nimasa. We are charting the direction for a maritime and regulating the industry for a better, bigger, and more economically stable Nigeria. Evolved to serve you better. We are Nimasa. New face, rejuvenated service. Nimasa, changing the tides in your favor.
Thank you to all our esteemed viewers for being on the voyage with us today. We're docking for now, but we shall be back again next week with another fascinating episode. Until then, keep safe.